Hello, my name's Rob and welcome to Wasp Slots. Now this video comes to you through pure frustration, but also a fantastic result. Now that fantastic result is actually the fact that I contacted a company called Wasp, and they seem to operate mainly on eBay and they sell 3D printed figures. Now I wanted a set of 3D printed racing car drivers with their helmets on, loitering about, just looking at cars, being in the pits, whatever, because I use my 3D printed 1/32 scale figures for my thumbnails for these videos, not so much my track, but I like to pose them when I can for various thumbnails. Now I went looking on eBay and Etsy and all the other shops that I know of, looking for driver figures with helmets on, and to my utter frustration and amazement, I could not find any. Well, that's not strictly true, because on one particular shop I found the Fly 1/32 scale driver figures and they had their helmets on, fantastic, but they're £15 each, and the big problem with those figures, even if I did want to pay the money, is there's only two different types. There's one type holding his helmet, I think, which is out of stock, and all the others are exactly the same. I think they're standing there with their arms folded, all with their helmets on, all very the same, so it wouldn't really work for me. So I was looking for a range of figures. So apart from those two figures that I found from Fly, I could not find a single driver figure. Now, if I wanted scantily dressed women, I could find those in abundance. I could have my entire track flooded with scantily dressed women with their attributes oversized and everywhere, not a problem in the slightest. I can have them draped over tires, draped over cars, inappropriate positions, even naked. But could I find a racing car driver? No, I could not. Now you might say to yourself, well, Rob, you're wrong. I know where to get 1/32 scale racing drivers with their helmets on, off, throwing them in the air, or standing on their heads with the helmets on their feet. Well, great, but I challenge you to find 3. I challenge you to find 2, in fact. I could not find them, and I've looked for months to try and find 1/32 scale racing car drivers with their helmets on, just standing around loitering. So in pure frustration, that's where this video came from, I contacted the company Wasp from eBay, and as like I say, they sell 1/32 scale resin printed figures mainly, I believe. There's a lot of products there, but their core business appears to be 3D printed figures. So I contacted them. I didn't tell them who I was. I just said, Wasp, I'm looking for driver figures with their helmets and I cannot find any. Are you able to help me? Now, I didn't expect them to respond, but they did. In credit to them, they did. And I didn't tell them who I was or the channel or anything like that. They didn't know me from Adam. And I just said to them, can you point me to where some figures are, or can you make some? And they were on it, just like that. They came straight back to me and they said, we can make you some, no problem at all. What do you want? So I found some pictures on the internet of real life drivers. They were something like this, or something like this. And I gave them 3 different options or 3 different figures. He said, yeah, I know what you want. Leave it with me. And by the end of the day, he came back with 3 figures, all 3D crafted, unpainted and painted in a 3D image, but all done. He said, those files are done. I've made them and they're in the 3D printer right now. And I'm going to make another 3. I thought, absolutely fantastic. He said, what other 3 would you like? I said, well, I'd like this, this and this. He said, yeah, I can do that. And then I told him who I was. And then obviously he was quite excited for the video to be made, because he thought, oh, you know, this would be great. And I'm really happy to do it as well, because he really showed himself to be a fantastic seller. And I think on this channel here, I like to promote the traders that have really done me a good service. And Wasp certainly have. They've gone way and above and beyond. Now, it gets better than that, because he made me the 6 figures before he knew who I was, as I say, and they are in this box. Now, I've opened this box, but I haven't opened the packaging because I want to show you that. And then he came back to me a day later. He said, Rob, I've had another good idea. He said, I want to make another figure. So he actually sent me another figure. So we got 8 in here and a 9th figure in here. Now, as a by the by, there's a couple of extra figures in here that I bought as well, as a projection to what I would like somebody in the slot car world to make. And I'll get back to you on that one when we open these boxes. So let's get you on my table. Let's show you what's in these boxes. And let's all give a round of applause for Wasp for getting these boxes to me within a couple of days and responding so well. So let's get on the table. Let's have a look at these figures. Okay, so let's start with the first package. And I didn't open it fully because I just wanted to show you the way that all these figures come packaged. As you can see, no shortage of fragile stickers. So inside the box, here we go. Right, so this is the first thing that I noticed when I opened this box and why I didn't go any further. Just the quality of the packaging and how well all these figures are all packed up. So as you can see, they're completely all encapsulated very nicely in bubble wrap. So if I just try and open that like that, we'll see what we've got. Here we are. Right, so here are our selection of brand new driver figures to the slot car market, inspired by me. So what have we got here? So we've got figure number 681. I'll show you him in all his detail. He's actually got a base. I didn't even realise they came with bases. That's pretty cool. Now as you can see, that if this camera focuses, we got a man, a driver, taking his helmet off. The quality of these figures are extremely high, so I'm hoping that is focusing. So there we are. That is figure number 1 out of its packet. So what's the next one here? So we got figure 683. Let's have a look at him. Again, comes with a base. They all seem to come with bases. Here we are. We got a racing driver putting his gloves on. And you can see he's got a visor open and all the detail is face inside there. And his suit, looking really good. Just about to get in his car and go and do some thrash. So that's that figure. Put the base just there. And then we've got figure number 678. Take out his base. And here is this guy. He's just hanging around the pits, looking at stuff. Admiring his car or seeing what his teammates doing or just criticising the tea lady for not bringing the tea on time. There she is there. Oh, he is there, sorry. So that's the next figure. Next one we got a driver 682. Now this driver could well be thinking about his race, or he could be contemplating his life and how badly the race has gone and how he's going to have to become unemployed as a racing car driver and go and stack shelves at the local supermarket. But whoops, hang on, no, you see he's already trying to disappear off the place now, so maybe I was right about his race hasn't quite gone according to plan and he's contemplating his life options. But there you go, there is a sat racing car driver in contemplation. He's pretty cool, that one. And what next we got next? We've got another one. So 684, this particular driver figure is here, and he is probably having a very similar life conversation with himself, only this time he's got his helmet off, sitting there staring at the floor, wondering what on earth has happened to his race and why it's gone so badly, or maybe just in deep meditation. And there we are, that's that driver figure there, all looking very cool. Put him there. Next one, number 678. Sorry, 679. And he's got a base, and here he is. He looks quite purposeful. He looks like he's just about to go and do something on the track. Look at him standing there, look, giving it some. Yeah, with his hand system on there, all very purposeful, looking pretty damn cool. So there we are. So that's him, and he's got his visor up, and again you can see his detail in his face, and a very nice figure, that one indeed. So what we got now? We got figure number 680. Now this guy, he looks a bit more chill. Looks like he's just sort of just posing around the pits, which is exactly the sort of figure that I asked for when I asked Wasp if they would do these figures for me. He's just standing there, just chilling, just looking at stuff. And then we've got figure number 284. And this guy is kind of what we can find fairly easily in a kind of a Stig pose. But this guy isn't Stig. The trouble with Stig is it's been overdone so much. That helmet is so recognisable and the pose is so recognisable. It's a bit too cliche and can't really use him because he's so obviously Stig. Whereas this is in a Stig style pose, but it's not Stig. It's got a normal helmet on. And I think that works really, really well. It's just a generic driver. I think they both look pretty cool. Side by side, these two drivers just kind of chilling in the pits. So we got this one here. So that's pretty cool. Right, so we got all those figures there. Like I say, all the standing ones have got bases as well. And then we move on to box number 2. Now, I haven't opened box number 2 because I was so impressed with box number 1. I thought I won't open box number 2 because let's just see what delights are in here. Now, here's the thing. I'm trying to get into this box and I really can't. And the reason why is because this packaging is so well done, I'm really struggling to get in. So that's a good sign as well, isn't it? Bear with me a minute. We will get in this box eventually. I'm going to have to resort to destroying it, aren't I? Sorry about this, but there we are. Right, I'm in. So there we are. Look at that for packaging. Now, I've not opened this box, as you can tell. Fantastic. This little cradle look. Really cool. All this attention to detail with the packaging to make sure you get your figures in perfect condition. All this polystyrene and foam. Fantastic service. So here we are, and you've got this awesome little crate thing. So what have we got in here? Now, I kind of know something of what's in here, but not all of it. So let's just park these ones for but a moment, and let's have a look at this last figure that I was sent, and that's figure number 690. So let's have a look and see what he is. Let's see now. Here we are. He is a racing car driver. He's actually buttoning up his helmet. So he's very, very similar to this one, I guess, in some respects, whereas he's taking his helmet off. But this guy is putting his helmet on, buttoning up, ready to go. Now that's a really cool figure to have in your pits, loitering around. He looks like he's really getting ready to sort of go and do some racing. And it's just the sort of figure that we really want in slot cars. Just adds a lot more. I can't believe that we haven't got figures like this in slot cars. I mean, of all the things that you would think of on a slot car track, it would be drivers, but we haven't had them up until now. We just haven't had driver figures, but of course we do now because I've asked. So there they are. So that is more or less the full range of driver figures as it stands at the moment. Now, however, if you look at this link just here, you will see that Wasp already have a listing for driver figures, but they're not like this at all. So what they've said they would do is they would add all of these figures now to that listing right there, and now you'll be able to buy all their existing driver figures as well as these proper driver figures as well. So if you want any of these figures, go to that link just there and look up these figures, and you see the pricings and everything else, and they're all available right there to buy. Right, now, what did I have in here? Right there, this is something that I asked for, and it's a wish list from me to a manufacturer in slot cars. Now, I'm guessing that slot car manufacturer would be Skeletric. I mean, it seems to be what they would do, and I'll be amazed if they haven't already had this conversation, or even, fingers crossed, some plans of actually making this car, or maybe it's even in tooling. Who knows? I have no idea. But this is a wish list, and I've always said this: if a manufacturer ever makes this particular vehicle, I'm going to buy it. Now, Skeletrix seems to be that person. So, what car am I talking about? What car do you think you could have that would involve 4 figures? Well, maybe you can guess when I show you these 4 figures here. And again, these are from Wasp as well, and they're beautifully done. There they are. It's the A-Team. Come on, Skeletrix. I want an A-Team van, and I've bought my figures ready. Now, I might be waiting a year, I might be waiting 10, I might never get one. But as soon as they bring out an A-Team van, or somebody does, you're not going to be able to buy these figures, and I've got in way early on a bit of a wish. So there we are. So there is Murdoch, the madman Murdoch, and here is Face, the cool suave Face. And here is BA with all his muscles and so on and so forth. And here is the last guy that I've completely forgotten his name because I'm an idiot. But I will remember it the second I finish making this video. But there we are. So there's the A-Team figures. Now they were just a by the by to add into this video. But come on, Skeletric, make us an A-Team van. I so badly want one. But if you're looking for a slot car driver, Wasp are definitely your people, and these are the figures, and that is the link. So there we are. We've gone from a slot car driver famine to a slot car driver feast with these 9 brand new figures from Wasp. And I'd like to give a huge thank you to Wasp for making this happen so quickly and so willingly. And I'm sure all these drivers will be finding their way all across the UK, if not the world, in all the slot car garages, on the main straights, on the pit straights, up in the commentator's box, and all over your tracks right across the world. So if you're interested in any of these figures, the link is just there to their eBay page. And I hope you've enjoyed this sort of content. And if you have, maybe you'll subscribe and hit the little bell button. That'd be awesome. So until the next time, thank you very much.